It's the age of social media. You're going to see lists on Instagram, your clients and your athletes are going to send you video feeds, and they're going to want to know, hey, give me some feedback, what's going on? So I like to kind of run in my brain a 30-second quick video analysis. So you see a quick video, right? First thing I like to ask myself is why? Why is the person doing this exercise? And what is the purpose? And I'm really looking at two things. Is this a competition lift, either actually in a competition, or are we simulating a competition, so they're prepping for that? Or is it more of a training lift? If it's a competition lift, then one of my very first thoughts is it legal? So I do a quick scan, try to break down different sections. I'm a big fan of Arnold movies, so if you've seen Terminator 2 when he's scanning the dude, give me your clothes, okay? I try to do the same thing with this. Do a quick scan of somebody, and is it legal? Is their foot moving on the bench press? Did they pause? Did they get low enough on a squat? Did they hitch a deadlift? What's going on there? Might be a good training lift, but not a legal competition lift. So is it legal, yes or no, and what made it that way, if it's not? Okay, is it safe? These two aren't always the same. So somebody may do a legal lift that's really not very safe, and so no matter who the lifter is, I don't want them to perform lifts that I believe to be that are unsound and unsafe, because over time, if that obviously is accurate, then they may well hurt themselves, and nobody wants to be sitting on the sidelines or on the bench. Okay, so ask yourself those quick questions and see what you got going on. Is it a training lift? Same thing. Is it safe? And now, is it effective? Right? So is it effective for why? Why is this person doing something? And you want to know their why. Right? If I'm looking at a bodybuilder training their chest, that's quite different than a powerlifter trying to improve their bench press. So the form may not always be the same. I wouldn't necessarily get the same feedback there. So is it effective for that purpose? Then, and often it takes one or two watches here, then we're looking at the bar path, okay? Or if it's dumbbells or something like that, you know, the path of the implement. But specifically, if we're talking about the power lifts, what's going on with the bar path, and how close do we think it is to optimal, both textbook optimal and then optimal for that person, because that's obviously going to vary based on their own biomechanics. So is that bench press just totally straight up and down, right, which we know is not optimal? It should have that slight arc there. You know, on the squat, is the bar all wobbly? What's going on the deadlift? Is it starting way out away from their shins? So what's happening with the bar path? So I have in here NMC, right, neuromuscular coordination. So that's, does the person know how to do the lifts? If this is your client and you're going really heavy and the bar path sucks, but then you go back to say 70% and their bar path is great, they know how to do it, they're just having a hard time doing it when the weight gets heavy. That's different than giving the person 50% of their 1 rep max and the bar path still sucks. Now they don't know what to do. So this helps you figure out, right, do we need to train? Do we just need to practice more? Right, just like if I saw somebody shooting foul shots like this, they may not have any idea how to shoot, versus like a little kid who just isn't strong enough to shoot a foul shot normally, so they have to shoot with weird form, right? So what are we dealing with? Then, I call this muscle feedback, but what's going on with a muscle? Do I see that a muscle is holding someone back? So if someone's like, oh, I'm a really good deadlifter, or I want to be a really good deadlifter, and their traps are just nothing to speak of, that's going to be hard for them, right? There's just not enough mass, not enough horsepower there to help with that lift. So here we look at size, right? Does somebody have enough muscle? And if they had more muscle, would that be advantageous for them? And then if the answer is yes, do I think they need more triceps the way their bench press was going? Do I think they need more chest? Do I think they need more shoulders, more lat drive? What's going on with their legs? Is it glutes? Is it quads? Is it posterior chain? So think about what they could use. That then helps you figure this out. What's an assistance exercise that you believe could help that person? So just for example, you know, if they're just completely can't even budge the bar off their chest, in my mind, a lot of times that means that they're not using their lats well, and then I would like to ask them and see, well, how strong are you on other lat exercises? You know, if they can dumbbell press 80s and they're only doing dumbbell rows with 40s, that sucks. That weight should be at least the same, or the dumbbell row should be heavier. You know, if you got a 200-pound dude who can bench 300 pounds and can't do a pull-up, that sucks. Okay, so that person then needs to get working on that. They have a weak point there. So try to think about an assistance exercise that would help people that can't lock out their deadlifts. My two favorites would be high rep Romanian deadlifts and then deadlifts against bands that train you to kind of get up there, fire against that contraction. So this starts to shape then as a trainer. And of course, we don't know for sure. Just because I've watched something for 30 seconds, I don't know everything about this person. But I'm starting to make guesses. I'm starting to make hypotheses. And so then of course, if I'm working with this person, I'll have 2 or 3 months to try to implement those changes. I also like to think to myself, well, what RPE was this lift that they sent me? And I love it when people kind of share their RPEs, and it's obviously a max. I'm like, oh, this is, an RPE of 8.75, and it's like, dude, that was your 1 rep max, right? Just because it wasn't the unbelievable grinder doesn't mean you really had much left. But having said that, it's nice for you to think, what RPE are they at? Do they have a lot left? Where are they? And then also, what do you think their 1 rep max is based off of this? I remember one of my teachers at my personal training school, he went to go visit Louis Simmons, and then when he came back, he was like, dude, I couldn't believe it. I was just warming up, and I had like 275 on the bar doing deads, and Louis just walked over. He's like, what do you have, Paul, like 540? Which was pretty much exactly his 1 rep max. And a really good coach can see almost at any weight, right, the speed of the bar and the form and how things are set, and then what is their max. And obviously it's not always perfect, but it should be pretty close. You should be pretty quickly identify a 600-pound deadlifter versus a 300-pound deadlifter, even just by the way they're lifting 135. Okay. Now, if you don't have that, the other thing I like about this is if you do this over and over again, right? That's one of the joys of experience with coaching, as being a personal trainer. Lifting gives you unbelievable feedback that if you pay attention to it, it can really refine you. So you should start to think to yourself, okay, I believe that we should add 10 pounds and then the person will get 5 reps. Well, test it. Add 10 pounds. Well, if they only got 4 reps, right, you overestimated. Okay, so what was going on there? Take that feedback in. Why did I make that mistake? How could I be better? Because narrowing in the weight, both just as a regular personal trainer who makes their living that way, and then as a powerlifting coach who needs to pick the appropriate weight for their athletes, picking the right weight, picking the right assistance exercises, remember the hierarchy of strength, understanding the bar path, understanding what muscles are involved and how we get better, that's what this whole thing is all about. And so the cool thing about social media, it actually reinforces that. Somebody sends you a quick video and it's a great opportunity to practice. So if you're not very good at this, you can just do a quick Google search or go on Instagram and just start watching a bunch of lifts. And especially if you find a lifter who's posted a bunch of things, then you can kind of, contrast. Oh, they squatted 200 for 10. Oh, I bet they can squat, 240 for, 5. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, here they are. Here's their 240 set. Oh man, they got 9. What the hell, right? How was I so far off? Or they only got 1. What was going on with that? So you get more feedback. But just do a quick analysis, right? Why are they doing it? What's the purpose? Is it legal? Is it safe? Okay, any feedback that you would give to get better? And the more you do this, the better coach you'll be.